Hello everyone, welcome back to more of The Sims 4 Supernatural. Been a while. Hi, sorry. It's literally been months and months and months, which is awkward, but here we are. Life happens. Needed to focus on other things. But we're finally back, because I absolutely wanted to continue the series, and I'm going to do so. So here we are, back with the old gang. I've missed them. I've missed them very much, actually. And I'm excited to continue on with the story. We have Daniel here. He's an alien who moved into this house, owned by Valerie here, who's a witch. The house is haunted by a ghost called Nell. And yeah, those two get on very well. We also have Jonah, who in the last episode we kind of had focus on him and his backstory. He's now like a merman after a tragic accident, and he was saved by a mysterious mermaid. And we also have Kai, who was the one who invited Daniel to stay here. He is a vampire. And yeah, everyone's kind of got their own things going on. We've explored some backstories, some we have not yet, but all in good time. But yeah, this episode we're just going to kind of catch up with everyone, see how they're doing, how they're settling in with things. You know, I feel like we've established the dynamic, and it's a very supportive dynamic, I think, between these guys at this point, which is very sweet and wholesome. So yeah, they're just vibing, I guess, right now. Daniel's getting a book out. These three are just chatting here, which is sweet. Jonah is off doing his own thing. Jonah does keep himself to himself a lot of the time. He's just staying in his room texting. Well, he's probably just playing a game more so than texting, but because he doesn't really know anyone outside of these guys, so I can't imagine who he'd be texting outside of that. But yeah, he's kind of, I was about to say stretching his legs, which is kind of funny considering, you know, if he touches water, he turns into a merman and gets a tail. But yeah, he's kind of really opened up about the trauma that he went through in the last episode. Everyone was very supportive of what he went through, and they said they're going to help him through it and everything. So he's going to try and, I think, get back out into the world and try not to let his new powers and abilities kind of control his, like, fear, I guess. And meanwhile, everyone else, you know, oh, Nell's possessed the laptop, which is great. She's probably broken that. And yeah, Daniel's still trying to kind of find his place in the world, find a career for himself. Oh no, what's this? He's about to be scared by a ghost. Good. Outside of maybe discovering a path to fitness, I guess, since he moved in properly. Oh dear. He's still kind of finding a place for things. Valerie's just doing witchy stuff, as she does best. She's also kind of more of an introverted character as well. And then Kai, we've kind of been exploring his past with Katya, her name was, that's his lost love, who he was with for a long time, then she died of old age. Obviously, he doesn't age as a vampire. And he's actually been in contact with Vlad, who's kind of the vampire leader, I guess, of this area. And he's kind of been desperate and forcing Kai to try and get some information out of him about Valerie here, because he says she can't be trusted and she's up to mysterious things, and that's a terrible, terrible angle. And yeah, he's kind of offering Kai some kind of mysterious offer about things that he seemingly can't refuse if he relays that information to him and tries to investigate Valerie. But, you know, he's grown quite an attachment to these guys, so I think he's just taken some time to weigh up that choice. We'll see where that all unfolds. But yeah, it's actually 2 a.m. on Saturday, so I really should actually just get everyone in bed, because what are you all doing up? But yeah, poor Jonah, bless him, he's actually just been in here all day. You go to sleep now, pal. Now, you don't really sleep, so you can just vibe for a bit. Then, of course, Kai has his coffin. Ah, Daniel and Kai just became good friends. That is very sweet and wholesome. Then Valerie, you can go to bed as well. And Daniel, you go to bed there. But yeah, things seem to be, you know, quite settled with these guys as a group. Obviously, everyone still has their own little secrets and things going on. And, you know, whether or not those ever get revealed and explored in much depth is, you know, it remains to be seen. But for now, everyone's just going to bed, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. It is Saturday today, so, you know, maybe we can have a fun activity for them, see what happens. Oh, Val is up bright and early on this Saturday morning, and Nell is dripping wet and somehow needs a toilet, considering she's a ghost, but you know what? You do you. Everyone else is still just absolutely zonked out, which is a big mood. It is a Saturday after all. If any day you're going to lie in, I think it would be a Saturday, right? But yeah, I guess what is Valerie up to now? She's got her back cracking. Good. Well, why don't you do some early morning experimenting? Or can you brew a potion? Oh, you can do a purge perking one. You don't have many ingredients. I think maybe we go to, the kind of magical realm with Val today, and maybe she can get some potion ingredients, etc. I don't think she's been there for a little while because she's been busy with, all the new people moving in. So it would be good to spend some time with her there, maybe. But for now, she can make this potion, living her best life. It's nice to see this actually used for what it's meant to be used for, instead of people making mac and cheese in it, which tends to be the way in The Sims. But instead, she's making a potion of purging, which I need to say very carefully because it's a lot of alliteration. But yeah, is everyone else up now? Kai is still asleep, but these guys are up. Nellie's eating. What are you having? Is that like chicken or something? I mean, strange choice for breakfast, but oh, actually, we can see it here, can't we? Turkey dinner. Okay, there's been a knock on the door. Daniel's just going to answer it since he's the closest, but it makes sense that he would be the one to answer it, because it's actually his boyfriend Bentley who's come for a visit. Inside, Daniel is freaking the hell out because he's always been like, if you're going to come and visit, do let me know in advance, because Bentley isn't really aware of who he's been living with, etc. And nice to meet you. Taking out the trash. But Bentley was like, well, come on, I want to surprise you. I've been busy at university. I've been working hard. I missed the weekend. I want to surprise you with a visit. And he's like, I want to meet all your flatmates. I want to see what your life is like now. What you've been up to. We haven't really had much of a chance to catch up because we've both been so busy. And I think he's even getting the vibe that Daniel may be holding a few things back and isn't really happy per se that he's here, because he's feeling quite uncomfortable about this conversation. But yeah, I think they're just saying, I've missed you. I want to spend some time with you. And of course, Daniel's not going to be like, well, no, sorry. It's busy. Leave him on red. Send him away. So he's like, oh, this is my landlady, Valerie. She is the door now. Well done, Valerie. And he's just like, he's kind of like, oh, this is a spooky house, like making him jump. Little does Bentley know. Hasn't even invited him in yet. He's just like, okay, guys, I need you to act seriously. He's just like, I'm just panicking. So he's kind of just thinking to himself, taking some time. Bentley has now just invited himself in, which is fair enough. But he's just like, okay, maybe if I introduce him to Kai, we can hide that he's a vampire. Jonah, on the outwardly, he just seems like a normal guy. Maybe he can spend some time with him. Maybe make sure that Nell doesn't reveal herself to him. Make sure we don't see Kai's fangs. Make sure Valerie doesn't cast any spells around him. This could be fine, it'll be fine. And things seem to be going alright so far, because Valerie is just kind of... I think she's very on board with what Daniel is trying to get from this surprise visit, trying to make the most of it. She's just kind of, saving face, pretending things are just normal, catching up with him, learning about what he does, etc, etc. Daniel's kind of being like... I think Daniel is not very good in a crisis. He's just absolutely freaking out and panicking, so he's just like, play games, it's absolutely fine, everything's fine. And not really getting involved in the conversation as much. Oh, and he's gone to bottle up the potion, so I think he's probably smelling the potion that Valerie made earlier, and like, oh my god, no, I need to hide this, I need to hide it. So he's going to actually bottle this all up, just as he bottles up his feelings about the whole situation. So he's like, oh, I can't have Bentley see this, he's going to be asking all sorts of questions, like, this won't do. Unfortunately, while Daniel's been busy with that, Naz been like, oh my god, new person, hi, and just sat down and started chatting to Bentley. Bentley's kind of played along with it. I don't think he's fully computed with him, like, what the hell's going on here? So he's just kind of... He's even on forums, that he's on online forums being like, I think I'm losing my mind. I've gone to see my boyfriend, and I've seen a ghost. Like, is this a thing that happens to people when you visit people? He's like, am I just not slept enough at university? What's going on here? So Bentley's like, what the hell is going on? I think I've just seen a ghost. Am I losing my mind, or do you have a ghost in your house? I know you're an alien and everything, and that's fine, but you didn't tell me that you were living in a haunted house. And Daniel's kind of saying, okay, yes, that's Nell. She's a ghost. She's been haunting this house for ages. You know, we're a weird lot here, you know, but it's fine. They're good people once you get to know them, you know. They're really kind and supportive of each other and of me. But I felt like it was a lot to tell you that I had a ghost living here. And I think Bentley can kind of, to an extent, I think he understands that. I think he's a bit like, oh, okay, but I can deal with you being an alien just fine. I feel like I can manage you living with a ghost. But again, Daniel's just absolutely panicking and like, I'm going to exercise, bye. And leaving Bentley to his own devices. So he thinks, oh, things can't possibly get any weirder, but at least there is someone here that he knows, because Tara's just turned up. So let's go and greet Tara, Daniel. Obviously, Tara is Daniel's cousin, so they're very close, so it's nice that she's come to visit. But he's like, did you know that Daniel lives with a ghost? This is crazy. She's like, oh yeah, Nell seems quite sweet, actually. And, you know, I guess compared to the vampire, I guess compared to the merman, the witch, you know, it's not a big deal about the ghost, is it? So Bentley's kind of like, okay, this is a lot. You haven't told me about any of this, because Tara unknowingly kind of dropped Daniel in it there. She's kind of explaining like, oh, he knew about the ghosts, and I didn't want him to know about the ghosts, but now you told him about everyone. And I think that's a bit much, you know. There's a whole house of supernatural creatures. And I'm not even entirely sure Bentley knows about the existence of, you know, like mermen, etc., witches. So it's going to be a lot for him to deal with, and he's run off somewhere. Probably a bit annoyed that Daniel kept all of that from him. So he thought he had the whole story, and suddenly he doesn't. And now he's just kind of sat away from everyone. So yeah, go and apologise to him for lying about everything. So Daniel's kind of like, okay, you know, you're right. I'm sorry. I just thought it was going to be a lot all at once to tell you about everyone. So I think he's just slowly but surely going around now, introducing him to everyone. And, you know, Jonah, he's kind of a shy, awkward guy anyway, so I don't think Bentley got the impression he needed to stick around and get to know him too much. Just, he doesn't know Jonah's full story yet. Jonah's very, like, a bit shying away from new people still. But still, Bentley didn't really deal with that very well. He's gone again already. I think Kai is still asleep, so how about we wake you up? Oh, Valerie's got a call from Cole. This is one of her friends from the magical realm, one of the people that she kind of knows there. He's a frequent kind of customer there. He's like, oh, should we have a duel at the grounds? Can't do that quite yet because I'm focusing on this other story. But when she goes to the magical realm, we'll try and catch up with Cole, see if he's there. And all the other people she hasn't seen in a while. But I will bear that in mind. It's nice that she has some friends kind of wanting to spend some time with her. I think that's quite wholesome. Okay, so you're there. Where's Bentley? Ah, there you are. So, Kai, introduce yourself to Bentley. Oh, he can invite Bentley to try to calm down. So Bentley obviously is kind of freaking out about this whole thing. He's actually gone to a mirror to kind of like, this is insane. What am I doing here? So he's like, hi, I'm Kai. I'm the vampire. Don't worry. I tend to stick to plasma nowadays. I'm not going to eat you. Promise. Cross my heart, which doesn't beat anymore. Hope to die. Already dead. That was the wrong expression to use. Sorry. Hi, I'm Kai. Obviously, Bentley is obviously a bit nervous about it, which I think I would be too if I were meeting a vampire. And especially one that stinks because he's just been working out. But, you know, again, first impressions, these guys have a lot to work out when it comes to actually spending time with people that aren't each other. You know, they're all the kind of a group of misfits, really, aren't they? And even this conversation's making Kai tense now. He's like, oh, I haven't really talked to someone new in a while. This is not going very well. Okay, nice to meet you, bye. So yeah, that leaves Bentley feeling a bit, oh, okay, I'm just gonna post on that forum again saying, what do I do with my life? And this is bizarre, and my boyfriend was lying to me about all this. Why didn't he want me to know? Why did he feel like I couldn't cope with all of this? I mean, I guess I'm not really coping with it, but still, he could have at least put some sort of trust in me, could he? Did I at least deserve that much? And then we just have Nell possessing Jonah's wardrobe, and he's there like, you okay in there, buddy? Kai really likes bubble baths. I feel like I've mentioned that in a previous episode. He always spontaneously will have a bubble bath rather than a shower. I think it's absolutely hilarious. I think he's kind of a very bougie person. Oh, and we have another vampire visiting. That's just one of the local vampires, I think, Caleb. And I think Bentley's just walked past the door, saw another vampire. They're like, oh my god, are they summoning people to like come and feast? Like, I know Kai said he wouldn't eat me, but what if that guy does? Yeah, Bentley doesn't look particularly happy about this situation. Daniel's trying to just save face about it. And yeah, they tried to just have a bit of a conversation about it then, but it just ended up being an awkward silence. Oh, what's that? I think that might have been Caleb just vanishing into the night, which is fine. But yeah, he's trying to calm himself down in the mirror again now. He's like, this is madness. I don't know what I'm doing here. So now Daniel's like, what do I say to Bentley? He's kind of had everything thrown at him at once. He realised that I didn't tell him about this. I've been living here for a little while now, and I could never find the heart to tell him because I don't really know what I'm doing here myself properly. I don't have a clear direction for everything yet. So how was I going to share that with him? And Kai's like, well, you know, I haven't really been in a relationship with anyone for a while. I can't say I'm particularly good at that kind of thing anymore. But I would recommend maybe instead of talking to me about your issues, you talk to your boyfriend about them. He's like, okay, maybe you were right to kind of keep this all from me. I wish we had maybe at least tentatively discussed this before I had to find it all out on my own accord anyway, with Tara turning up. Now he's like, yeah, he does play football, everything's fine. Again, not being the best in awkward situations. So Bentley's like, okay, I'll play along, I'm sure you enjoy this kind of thing. Bentley does not do football at university. This isn't really his thing. So I think Daniel's just panicking, being like, let's distract ourselves with this thing. Because he has been playing a bit of keepy uppy and stuff with his other flatmates. So yeah, a very bizarre kind of set of circumstances to have this conversation in. But this is how they're talking their issues out. So we have that. And he's like, yeah, I have kind of panicked about this. This is a lot. And, you know, you seem more at home and more chill with those guys than you do with me. You know, you seem to rather talk to them than me right now. And I just, maybe, you know, I shouldn't have just come out of the blue and surprised you and everything. But I also think the reason you didn't want me to surprise you was because you were keeping all this from me. And I don't really know how I feel about that just yet. Especially because all of this is crazy. And Daniel's kind of like, you know, I didn't really have a direction for myself. I thought, you know, I have this interest in the supernatural now. I thought that could be a good enough reason to move in here and kind of get to know that world a bit, see if that's where I want my life to kind of get involved with, maybe some research into that. You know, that's how kind of I met Kai, and he kind of brought me here and everything. Kai's like, don't bring me into this. But yeah, he's like, maybe just because I wasn't sure how it was going to go, that's why I didn't tell you everything and how, you know, how my life was actually going while you were at university. Because for all I knew, you know, this wasn't going to work out, and I'd be like, well, it's fine, I'll just, you know, go back home or something. I'll figure something else out, and that's why I don't want to share it with you. But I guess this is kind of a situation I'm happy with, and I'm sorry that I didn't share that with you. Anyway, it's getting quite late. Shall we go to bed? So Bentley's just left with Kai now, like, so, what's your favourite colour? Yeah, Bentley's just stormed out, so that's great. And Daniel's been left embarrassed by this whole turn of events, so that's good, and it's 1 a.m. he did invite Bentley to stay the night, but I think Bentley's actually gone home. Although it doesn't say... Oh no, he's over here, isn't he? Is this you? Oh no, that's not you. Oh no, he's back. Okay, good. Let's invite him to stay the night. Bentley's like, I don't know if I feel comfortable staying here right now. I don't know how I feel about any of this. And I think maybe it's just best if I, just go and spend the night with my parents tonight. Because I was going to see them this weekend anyway. I just wanted to see you first. But this has been quite a bit and quite a lot to take in. It's a complicated situation, I understand. And, it's not like I'm saying you don't belong here, you shouldn't live here or anything. Part of me wishes you should have told me about it, but I'm also kind of thinking hard about the fact that I seem to have reacted exactly the way you feared, but what does that even mean that I did react that way? So yeah, Bentley's just decided to actually just go to his parents now, and Daniel's left to spend the night on his own. Not quite the reunion he would have hoped, I think, for when Bentley turned up. Obviously, it was a complete surprise to him. He didn't realise it was happening, and it certainly hasn't been his ideal way of kind of presenting what his life's like to Bentley right now. And yeah, it is very early in the morning now, so definitely time to get to bed. Valerie's already there. So yeah, kind of, I think, an uneasy sleep for Daniel tonight, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. I'll probably try and call Bentley again and try and patch everything over. We'll see how it goes. So it's the next morning. These two are the first two up. They're just kind of chatting about what happened with Bentley and everything. Valerie's kind of filling him in, because Jonah kept himself to himself still a bit. She was like, I think I heard them arguing and stuff. I don't think he really knew everything that was going on here. And Jonah's like, I kind of, I understand all too well hiding some parts of yourself, especially the supernatural elements of yourself. I'm only just opening up about that. And, Valerie's kind of saying, I get it as well. I actually kind of got into this whole witchcraft thing in a less than ideal way, is all I'll really say. But I have my reasons for getting into this. And yeah, in fact, I do need to go to the magical realm today, pick up a few ingredients and stuff, because I've completely run out. So that's going to be my day today. And Jonah's like, hey, do you mind if I come with you today? I feel like I need to start getting out in the world a bit more, try and brave the outside world, and I feel like maybe a good place to start would be the magical realm, because it's outside, but it's still kind of a secluded place, away from the public. If anything were to kind of go wrong out there, it's full of people like you who would probably kind of get it, rather than just, the general public out there. And Valerie's like, I suppose, of course you can come. Yeah, I normally use a stone I have to instantly teleports me there, so I guess we'll have to just take the normal route, because that only carries one. I don't often like using that route, but absolutely. So these two have arrived at the portal at Glimmerbrook, which takes them to the magical realm. Jonah's a bit nervous from all the water around, but he's also kind of appreciating the beauty of it, because he's kind of fascinated by that portal and stuff. And he's like, this is kind of amazing. Like, look at that view. Like, why do you not kind of always take this route? And Valerie's just like, I have some bad memories of this place, so let's just kind of go through the portal and get there. I'd rather not stick around here for too long. And Jonah, he kind of understands people don't want to share everything. He's only just opened up about some of his own stuff, so he's not going to kind of push any further for that. So yeah, those two are going to go through the portal together into the magical realm so that Valerie can pick up some stuff. And here they are. I think Jonah's kind of like, oh my god, this place is beautiful. And it certainly is. So there's all sorts of people. So yeah, there's Paridata, Kabir. These are all like the big sages who run this place. They each control kind of different divisions of magic, different types of spells and stuff. Valerie's obviously learned and mastered them all at this point, so she knows these guys pretty well, because they taught her some spells and stuff. Not all of them taught her stuff, because sages grow old and die. They are replaced with new people. So I think she's known this guy for a while, but I believe Parry is kind of a fairly new person who's only just taken over the role because the previous one passed away. Because Valerie's been a witch for quite a while now. So yeah, maybe we'll see if some of our other friends are around at some point. But for now, we need to find the other portal that takes them to... Not the Dueling Grounds, we want somewhere else. Is it this one here? Caster's Alley, there we go. This is where you can buy all your stuff. So they're going to head there now. Oh, Daniel has reached fitness level 10, wherever he is and what he's doing. Well done, Daniel. So she's like, remember, like, the fact that you're even here is a huge step for you. Just take it slow. You don't feel like you need to talk to anyone. You know, just take in the atmosphere and stuff. Follow me around if you want. I'm just going to go and buy some different things at all the different stalls. And yeah, just do what makes you comfortable. Don't need any tomes or anything. Maybe get some crystals while we're here. Hopefully Jonah is just going to vibe, do what he wants to do. Okay, let's see. Let's get all the different crystals you have on offer. Oh, perfect for any practical spellcaster. The magic mop can not only get you where you need to be, it's the power to remove the toughest of stains. Narbroom. Okay. Oh, let's get the magic mop. That'd be very, very useful for mopping up all the puddles that Nell leaves behind the house. So definitely get those. Then this is the one we really want, the potion ingredients. Okay. So the thing is with the shops here, every single day they have new things, so you can't get everything you need for every spell every day. So it is kind of, you need to, you know, kind of get here when you can, and hope you actually find the stuff that you're looking for. So for now, we're just going to buy maybe 2 of everything. We don't need to buy a potion of purging, because that is the one she actually made earlier in the episode, so that's fine. We've got plenty of money, so we don't need to really worry about that. I love the magical realm. Like, look at this. It's kind of all interconnected. So we have like this place here, which is where you can buy all your stuff. You have like the main hub world there, which is where the academy is, where people learn things, which is very cool. Dueling grounds, all sorts of places. It's really, really cool. Jonah's actually gone down to like this little bar at the bottom of like the school, I guess. There's not much he can really do because he's not a magical person, so he's just like, I don't understand any of this. But I do like that he kind of somehow found something that he knows, I guess. Either introduce yourself to her while you're here, very, very carefully. Kai's reached fitness level 5, so yeah, he's introduced himself to Parry. He's kind of like, hi, I'm not a magical person. I'm just here with my friend. She's just picking up some potion ingredients. Sorry if I'm kind of intruding anything. She's like, oh, absolutely not. We're more than welcome to have any visitors here. You know, make yourself feel comfortable. You know, is there any particular reason you found this place? Even sometimes people are drawn to different things for different reasons. And he was kind of like, well, actually, I used to be a bartender way back when. Oh, okay. I don't know why Kai's suddenly been like, Jonah, I need to change my career. I don't even think you have a career. So, sure, Kai, why don't you try and go for a new career? Maybe he actually wants to, maybe Kai wants to go out and get a job. Why not? Good to encourage him. But he's like, sorry about that. My vampire friend was being strange. But he's kind of like, well, I used to be a bartender, so it's kind of cool that I just happened to stumble along one here and just happened to find one. I guess that's what I do best, along with making mermaid expressions. And yeah, Parry's kind of like, well, you know, that's kind of interesting that, you know, there is something familiar to you, even in such an area like this that you really don't know. Oh. Let's sweat. What a rush. The boost of adrenaline is making Jonah feel amazing. Should he firmly embrace that with his astonishingly sculpted arms that he likes fitness? I feel like this is part of a new update. This is new stuff that I haven't encountered on The Sims. But you do like fitness, so why not? But yeah, there you go. He's kind of even replenished himself there a bit. He's actually kind of found some inspiration there from his little conversation with Parry, which is very cool. So yeah, he's kind of like, it's funny, like, even in this crazy supernaturalish world that I'm only just kind of finding myself invested in and part of, there are little things like that remind me that, you know, there is probably a place for me here. I actually can maybe find myself getting comfortable, because this is something that's familiar to me, and it's not like everything has to be completely new and different in my life. So he's actually kind of finding a bit of comfort in that. And it helps in terms of storytelling, because he actually did just happen to find himself here naturally. He found himself here while I was busy buying stuff as Valerie. So it's kind of cool that he organically found himself drawn to a bar. Kind of concerning. Could be a soap opera storyline in the making. But however, that's not what we're going for with Jonah. It's just because it was his career. It was kind of the only thing he can kind of remember fondly about, the life before his accident. So yeah, I think he's found a great sense of comfort in that, actually. Meanwhile, Valerie feels inspired from spectral influences, because she just likes ghosts. We've seen that with Nell. She obviously gets on with Nell like a house on fire, against all odds. And seeing all these kind of spectral influences around her makes her feel good. So it's probably a treat for her to kind of come to the magical realm. It's kind of like going to a supermarket you don't often go to that often, and it's like, oh wow, this is cool. Jonah's even been serving some customers. He's actually been serving one of the sages, which probably isn't the best idea, given it's, middle of the day. And he's like, let's get drunk, sages, cast some weird spells. And but Valerie's like, oh, there you are. They've just become good friends. Perfect timing. He's kind of like, I was kind of looking for you. I was getting a bit worried. But he's like, I've kind of found a good spot here. This is kind of what I'm comfortable with. This has kind of shown me that I think I will have a place in here. If I actually take those leaps, put myself out in the world again, don't be too afraid. I can find some kind of familiarity like this, and that kind of gives me a sense of hope. So thank you for letting me come and be here. And Valerie's like, I'm really glad it was so cathartic for you, and this is such a huge step forward for you. Don't feel like you need to rush into anything further than this. We can keep coming here as often as you'd like. Whenever you feel like it, I'll kind of guide you here. If this is like a safe space for you, it's absolutely fantastic. So I think Jonah's world's kind of slowly expanding. He can see light at the end of the tunnel, I guess, and he already had a supportive group of people around him, but now he's kind of found some people even outside of that group, and a place outside that group and outside that house where he could belong, being who he is now. So this has actually been a really good experience for him, and a good kind of bonding experience for these two, which is quite wholesome. An unexpected friendship I wasn't really expecting to happen, but that's the fun of doing these Let's Plays like this. I have a few things planned out, but then friendships like this that I hadn't really thought about formed, so this was very sweet. However, Valerie's got everything she needed to. Jonah's had a great kind of emotional experience today, very cathartic, so it is time for you to go home, because it is getting a bit later on now. You all need to have food and, kind of gather the group again. So yeah, let's head back with you two. But very productive day for them both, and I think, look at the stride in Jonah's step there. He's like feeling quite confident, I think, about all of this, so that was really good for him. Pouring it down with rain as they get back, so Jonah is a bit quick to get inside, but look, he can actually kind of laugh about it. He's like, oh, that was a close one. So there's some healing going on here. Character development that I didn't even plan. Hooray! Love it when that happens. Meanwhile, look, Kai is scared of thunderstorms, but I think he's kind of putting a brave face on for now. He's like, no big deal, it's absolutely fine. Let's just play chess, it doesn't bother me. Kind of trying to appear all like, I'm a vampire, nothing scares me. I don't know if Nell can kind of guess that he's scared or not, but I think, even if she does kind of cotton on, she'd be like, it's fine. I wouldn't want him to feel insecure. Oh no, Daniel's feeling sad on his own meanwhile. Look at this. Seeing that someone Daniel cherishes is suffering makes him sad, because he had that fight with Bentley and he knows he's kind of going through it right now. I think you need to call him, don't you? You need to invite him over. See what happens now. So Bentley's like, I've kind of been thinking about this, and there's just, a lot going on for me right now. There's clearly not going on for you. And yeah, I just feel like we're in very different spots right now. We're in very different places. You didn't feel comfortable sharing your world with me. It feels like we're in completely different worlds, if I'm honest. And yeah, I feel very distant from you, and maybe you were right to not, share this part of your life with me just yet, especially if it's not something you were comfortable with. And I don't really know how to move forward with that right now. So, very sadly, These guys have actually decided that until maybe they find they're on similar paths again at some point, they're actually going to call it quits, and they have actually broken up. So that is going to be that for those two. And with that, Bentley heads out into the storm. He's going to head home. Not quite the surprise visit at the weekend he'd have imagined, but that is unfortunately how things have gone. And poor old Daniel. I think deep down he kind of knows, at least for right now, it probably is the right decision, because neither of them know exactly where their lives are heading, and, you know, they kind of had drifted apart a bit. They hadn't really had the time to spend, you know, any time together, and yeah, they just had their own things going on, and maybe it just wasn't linking up quite right at the moment. So, yeah, Daniel's kind of not with Bentley anymore, which is very sad, and I think he's going to take some time to kind of process that, move forward from it. Maybe they'll find their way back to each other. It didn't feel like a final goodbye per se. Bentley was kind of like, you know, if you ever work it out what your life wants to be and you want me to be part of that, I will be there for you. So, you know, the door is left open. And, you know, I mean, while Daniel is sad about it still, you know, he's heartbroken about it, he does have a closeness, look, because he's kind of close to people around him. And I think he still feels that closeness to Bentley, and obviously he's always going to have that fondness for him, even if things don't work out for them ultimately. You know, it's his kind of first real love, really. So I think he's just going to eat some comfort food and be like, well, we'll see if I do find a place for him or for anyone at some point in my life. So I think he's just tried not to feel so sad, but obviously he does have a bit of a broken heart there, bless him. And I think Valerie sensed that. She's like, I kind of got the sense that things haven't gone well with you two. I'm really sorry. I'm sure you'll find your way back to each other one day. And Daniel's like, I hope so, but maybe it was for the best right now that we kind of part ways. Now look, now he's sad again now that he's kind of overtaken him. So, you know, he's going to have kind of good days and bad days, I guess, as he tries to get over the heartbreak of it all. The mood outside, you know, very much reflecting what's happened with Daniel and Bentley. But yeah, that is that for now. Maybe they'll find their way back to each other someday. Maybe things will work out for them. Maybe it's just not meant to be. I guess only time will tell. But for now, that is going to be everything for this episode. It was nice to kind of revisit these guys and kind of get back into the crux of their stories. Loved actually the Valerie and Jonah developments for them. You know, I hadn't really planned out exactly how that was going to go. I just like it when The Sims throws me some bones and like has Jonah find that bar, and I was like, oh, I can kind of spin this like this. I do like, I have certain plot threads on like general character arcs and stuff, but little things like that I kind of just go on the fly, and I still let The Sims kind of tell that story for me rather than me just telling everything. I've got every single little detail planned out and I'm just kind of showing it to you. It's still very much like me working with the game to tell those stories, and I think the whole Valerie Jonah connection was a great example of that. So it was nice for Jonah to kind of get some moments to himself like that, sometimes to process. He's feeling very energized about it. He had a very cathartic day, so I'm very glad of that. Daniel's kind of sleeping with, you know, heavy head, broken heart, but hopefully he'll kind of power through it. He's got a great support network around him, as we've seen on many occasions with this lot. So as I send them all to bed, we are going to end the episode there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all glad the series is back, because it is. Hello. And yeah, I'm very excited to continue the story with these guys. That is going to be everything for this episode. Glad to have The Sims 4 Supernatural back. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, until next time, thanks for watching.